Okay, on taxes, define rich. Everybody talks about, you know, taxing the rich, but not the poor, the middle class. At what point, give me a number, give me a specific number, where do you move from middle class to rich? Is it 100,000? Is it 50,000? Is it 200? How does anybody know if we don't know what the standards are?
Some of the richest people I've ever known in my life are the most unhappy. I think that rich should be defined by a home, a good job, an education, and the ability to hand to our children a more prosperous and safer world than the one that we inherited. I don't want to take any money from the rich. I want everybody to get rich. I don't believe in class warfare or redistribution of the wealth. But I can tell you, for example, there are small businessmen and women who are working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, that some people would classify as, quote, rich, my friends, and want to raise their taxes and want to raise their payroll taxes. Let's keep taxes low. Let's give every family in America a $7,000 tax credit for every child they have. Let's give them a $5,000 refundable tax credit to go out and get the health insurance of their choice. Let's not have the government take over the health care system in America. So I think if you're just talking about income, how about 5 million? So, no, but seriously, I don't think seriously that the point is that I'm trying to make here, seriously, and I'm sure that comment will be distorted, but the point is that we want to keep people's taxes low and increase revenues. And my friend, it was not taxes that mattered in America in the last several years. It was spending. Spending got completely out of control. We spent money in ways that mortgaged our kids' futures. My friends, we spent $3 million of your money to study the DNA of bears in Montana. Now, I don't know if that was a paternity issue or a criminal issue, but the point is, it was $3 million of your money. It was your money. And you know, we laugh about it, but we cry. And we should cry, because the Congress is supposed to be careful stewards of your tax dollars. So what did they just do in the middle of an energy crisis when in California we are paying $4 a gallon for gas? Went on vacation for 5 weeks. I guarantee you, 2 things they never miss: a pay raise and a vacation. And we should stop that and call them back and not raise your taxes. We should not and cannot raise taxes in tough economic times. So it doesn't matter really what my definition of rich is, because I don't want to raise anybody's taxes. I really don't. In fact, I want to give working Americans a better shot at having a better life. And we all know the challenges. My friends, if I could be serious, Americans tonight in California and all over America are sitting at the kitchen table, recently and suddenly lost a job, can't afford to stay in their home, education for their kids, affordable health care. These are tough problems. These are tough problems. You talk to them every day. All the time. Every day. My friends, we've got to give them hope and confidence in the future. That's what we need to give them. And I can inspire them. I can lead. And I know that our best days are ahead of us.
All right. Great. All right. Thank you. Now, we've got a couple minutes left in this section. Here's a security question I didn't get to with Senator Obama. We didn't have enough time. When our right to privacy and our right to national security collide? How do you decide what takes precedent?
It does collide. And there are always competing priorities. We must preserve the privacy of all of our citizens as much as possible, because That's one of the fundamental and basic rights we have. And by the way, including a secret ballot for union organizers, a secret ballot, not a ballot that someone comes around and signs you up. That's a different subject. But the point is that we have now had technological advances over the last 20 or 30 years in communications that are remarkable. It's remarkable the ability that our enemies have to communicate. So we have to keep up with that capability. I mean, there's too many ways, through cyberspace and through other ways, that people are able to communicate with one another. So we are going to have to step up our capabilities to monitor those. Sometimes there are calls from outside the United States, inside the United States. There's all kinds of communications of every different kind. So you need Congress to work together. You need a judiciary that will review these laws that we pass. And at the same time, it's just an example of our failure to sit down, Republican and Democrat, and work these things out together for the good of the nation's security, instead of this constant fighting, which, according to our Director of National Intelligence, until we finally reached an agreement not long ago, was compromising our ability to keep America from attack. And so there's a constant tension. It is changing with changes in technology, and we have to stay up with it.
We'll be right back with Senator John McCain. Saddleback Civil Forum on the presidency, and we're here with Senator John McCain. John, these last questions are about America's responsibility to the world. We are without a doubt the most blessed nation in the world. We are blessed to be a blessing, and the Bible says to whom much is given, much has been required. So I want to talk about what is our stewardship to everybody else. And let's first talk about freedom and war. As an American, what is worth dying for, and what's worth committing American lives for?
Freedom, our national security, our security as a nation. Wars have started in obscure places that have enveloped us. We also must temper that with the ability to effectively and beneficially cause the outcome that we want. In other words, there's tyranny and there's tragedy throughout the world, and we can't right every wrong. But we can do what America has done throughout our history, and that is be a beacon of hope and liberty and freedom for everyone in the world. As Ronald Reagan used to quote, a shining city on a hill. And so there are conflicts that we can't settle. The most precious asset we have is American blood. And throughout our history, Americans have gone to all four corners of the world and shed that blood in defense of someone else's freedom. No other nation on earth has ever done that. But we've also succeeded in other ways. We won the Cold War, as I mentioned earlier, without firing a shot because of our ideology, and that communism was wrong and evil, and we can defeat it, just as we can defeat radical Islamic extremism. Can we talk just a second about the latest in Georgia?
Well, let me ask you this. What would be the criterion for which you would commit troops
American national security interests are threatened.
Okay, well, I understand that one. What about, like, genocide in Darfur, or if mass killings took place in Georgia?
Our obligation is to stop genocide wherever we can. We all know about Rwanda. No one knows that better than you and the Saddleback Church, who have been so active. By the way, Cindy was just there with Mike Huckabee and Dr. Bill Frist, and have seen what the women of Rwanda are doing. The women are taking charge of the future of Rwanda, because they're saying never again. And they're doing an incredible job. Darfur, our most respected former Secretary of State Colin Powell called genocide some years ago. The question is how can we effectively stop it? And obviously, we've got to do more, and we've got to try to marshal the forces all over the world to join us. I think one of the things we ought to explore more carefully is us supplying the logistics and equipment and the aid, and the African countries step forward with the personnel to enforce a genuine ceasefire. It's a very complicated situation.